Morning, Troops Roy from Geeks Adventures. Woohoo! Broadcasting from the Clintonville section of Columbus, Ohio. Okay, this is gonna be kind of one of those really boring podcasts because it's even considered a podcast. You know what I mean? The thingy on YouTube that I do. Because this isn't so much a review, yada yada yada, but more just originally this is gonna be one of those goofy kind of hey, end of summer. Let's talk about how things kind of went foobar for some movies. Like Men in Black International and X-Men Dark Phoenix. That's the way my article started, talking about all this. And then as things develop, I'm writing all these notes. It turned into this thing. The summer of 2019 when the mouse roared. The industry's kind of wondered how bad this was going to be for the rest of everybody. At first, you settled the contract with Pixar mostly because Eisner was being a schmuck to Stephen Jobs, and the last thing I imagine, everyone tried to warn Eisner, dude, don't talk smack to Jobs, never talk smack to Stephen Jobs when they're trying to renegotiate the contract for Pixar to stay in with Disney. Again, there are legends about what happened, and basically Eisner tried to lowball. To which Stephen Jobs, being Stephen Jobs, if memory serves, he basically went, and kind of publicly. Oddly enough, Eisner retired not too long afterwards. But, you got the contract. Then you get Marvel. Really going to spend that much money on superhero movies? Oh, that's a dumb idea. Oh, you're going to spend that much money on Star Wars? Oh, come on. No one cares about Star Wars anymore. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Until this year. This summer in particular. So how bad is it? Now, this isn't the biggest sample on the planet, but I look back to 2017 and 18 because this is early in the morning and I don't have 18 hours to collate all sorts of stuff and junk like that. I went to Box Office Mojo, took a look at what the totals were, or at least, where kind of numbers came up. This is in America only, but gives you a kind of frame of reference. 2017, now this is the end of the year. 2017, the biggest movies for 2017. Let's see. Star Wars Last Jedi, Beauty and the Beast, Wonder Woman, Jumanji, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yes, I went only to 5. Look, I'm running out of time, all right? Also note when these came out. December, March, this is all spread out over the course of the year. Lots of time, and in the middle of the doldrums, you're going, oh, cool. Actually get to see something, 2018. Black Panther started in February. Infinity War. Oh, boy. April, what was that? Oh yeah, Incredibles 2 was in June. Let's see here. Jurassic World, also in June. Aquaman came out in December. All right, again. 2019, now keep in mind, this is just the summer. Endgame, April 29th. Yes, it's early, but let's be frank, that became the beginning of the summer movie season. Lion King, July. Toy Story 4, June. Whew, Captain Marvel came out in March. You see the pattern. Spider-Man Far From Home. Yes, technically it's a Sony film, but come on. Well, at least for now. Until the dust up really, really settles with Disney or whatever ends up happening. And went to 6 because number 6 is Aladdin, which came out in May. You get the idea. I'm not fully awake yet. I need more coffee. So there, but you get the idea. Everyone, the running assumption. Okay, yeah, you're going to make a crap ton of money because you had a lot of money to invest on amazing licenses that no one else had the gumption to go, you know what, let's overpay. It's like well, let's push the analogy here. It's like in football, you get a starting quarterback, you're gonna overpay no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's mediocre, okay? Yes, you're paying extra for the Chronicles of Narnia, hoping that it works out. Guess what? No matter what happens, you're gonna overpay because, well, you're actually hoping for Star Wars. That didn't work out, but you get the idea. So no one, and then kind of like Fox, no one. All of a sudden now looks like it might. It's amazing. Who would have thought that paying so much for Star Wars would have been so cheap? In retrospect, no one cares about Star Wars. It's a dying product. Blah 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 blah. But especially this summer, what kind of compounded everything and kind of wrecked the summer for everybody else, the fact that most of the stuff has been released like in like 4 months. And I think the business right now is going, oh, so when they released Captain Marvel in March, it was actually for their benefit, not everyone else's. You look at the total. The funny thing is, not all the totals are not exactly a total nightmare. John Wick did well. It made the money it should not. And actually, if you look at the totals from the first two movies, it's still within it made more than enough money that when it turned. I think fans of Keanu Reeves can make a legit argument that he should be Entertainer of the Year. If you haven't seen Always Be My Maybe, it's a fun, cute Netflix rom-com. Blah 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 blah. His scenes at the restaurant are hysterical. The Annabelle film did actually pretty well for a horror film during the summer, etc., etc., etc. The usual films that bombed, the two I already mentioned, and who knows what else. It happens. It seems to be happening more often, but that's for another podcast. Although I think in some ways Hobbs and Shaw might be an example of how things have gotten kind of. And you're going, what are you talking about? It made money. Yes, it did. No question. Here's the thing. It is a spin-off from a franchise that's been making $1 billion a pop for the last couple of films. Number one. Number two, it's got Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham as its... Oh, and Idris Elba. Cha-ching! Not to belittle, I believe at this point it's like got 700 million worldwide, something like that. But the thing is the pattern you've created, got kind of derailed. This movie came out in August. There's nothing in August. This year, really nothing in August. Ooh. Dare I say underperformed? It certainly did not tank, but it's kind of symptomatic of, I think, what everyone feared is that because Disney has these 20 billion products to throw at people, it's like they're Walmart now. And you have all of this stuff all under one giant one giant brand. You shove it down people's throats, and everyone's just kind of overwhelmed. Everything else gets squeezed out. What does that mean for the multi-billion-dollar question? The good news at this point is there are a multitude of other venues to release product. Netflix, cable, Amazon, a bajillion streaming services. So there are those things available, but now it becomes a big question of, are they willing? Yeah, we're gonna play this. Are they willing to play the leftovers, to be blunt, from the likes of Disney, or are they going to want to find their own, in this case, say their own Game of Thrones, their own Stranger Things? Yeah, I'm kind of leaping off of, I think, another podcast from a couple days ago, but you get the idea. This has been I think this has been kind of, everyone could see this. Everyone knew this was coming. That they were going to start to Disney was going to start gobbling things up. Excuse me. I don't think the summer was. I think the hope was, though, is that it's the summer. This happens anyway. It's just another movies all say Disney. Rather than saying Fox. Rather than saying Warner Brothers, they're all saying Disney. But you know what? We'll find space to fit in, because that's what happens during the summer anyway. And as other people pointed out, it doesn't help that what you release is X-Men Dark Phoenix. So what does this mean? That's what the coming year, it's not even years now, year is gonna do. Because, hey, Disney Plus comes up very soon. All of a sudden, their content's gonna start to flood out. It's going to be interesting to see what the stock price for Netflix is going to be when the switch is flipped on for Disney Plus. I mean, the transformation of the landscape. I wasn't kidding. This is kind of one of those boring things, but what everyone hears about constantly is that people are tired of sequels. People are tired of reboots. People are tired of. The problem is that this makes the people who make movies freak out, because all they see are, sequel, remake, sequel, original movie, but buried in all this. So actually, kind of a sequel. You get the idea. Remake, sequel, Hobbs and Shaw, sequel. They see those numbers and they panic. Kind of justifiably so. Yes, as an artist, directors, actors, screenwriters, they all want to create their own material, because as an artist, that's what you want to do. You want to create content that's cool, that speaks to you, and all the artsy fartsy mushy blah 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 stuff. But here's the reality: when you do this, you want to get paid. After a while, you know what? That starving artist crap gets really old, because you're tired of starving. So it's funny. I was into screenwriting for a little while, and then I'm still trying to hope to make my own content with Lovecraft Wars, which actually really isn't really original, but you get the idea. Anyway, so it's funny to hear people always kind of going, all these writers, all they do, and all these directors, all they do is make all these remakes, da 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 da. You know what? Number one, it's a job on a certain level. Number two, you need to get paid. So if your agent is going, look, they don't want to buy your script about blah 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 blah. Okay, what do they want? They're going to pay you $500,000 to do this remake of Smokey and the Bandit. What you hear is, I'm going to be set for a while. Sure, I had an idea from high school. We don't care. Just write the script. You got 90 days. Oh, heck yeah, I can do this in 90 days. So what happens? We're going to find out really fast. Well, not that fast. Well, I don't know. It's interesting, because, to see how films, you talk about development hell. You hear the horror stories about some films taking, 87 years to get made, and other stuff like literally getting popped out. Reminds me of, this is actually the best example. The War of the Worlds remake with Tom Cruise and yeah, with Spielberg directed and all that kind of stuff. The story goes that literally Spielberg flipping through his sketch. He and Cruise wanted to work on something for a while. I think this was after Minority Report. And they're talking about, oh, I got these gaps in time, blah 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 blah. And Spielberg goes, we got this thing about a remake, another way of doing War of the Worlds. Hey, you interested? Tom Cruise. Yeah, I got a gap around this kind of time. It's like they're talking about lunch, Hey, can you squeeze me in next week Thursday to make a multi-million-dollar movie? Yeah, sure, I think I can squeeze that in. And I mean, literally, the idea started in September, and the movie released the following year, which I think unfortunately kind of led to. Wow, I'm going off on tangents. I'm sorry. If memory serves, because of CGI, the internet allowing all sorts of post-production things to be done so much efficiently due to Lord of the Rings, it kind of, and probably who knows how many other films, but you get the idea. All of a sudden, making a movie in 12 months, I can do it in 9. Bring it! So now all of a sudden you kind of get this kind of weird thing where, yeah, you can have moments, obviously, of development hell where 18 years later you're going, I'm still trying to make my independent film in black and white. That's all being spoken in this ancient language that no one remembers, and then all of a sudden, yeah, but I can make the superhero movie in 2 weeks. So where was I trying to go with that? I don't remember. Wow. Anyway, so all of a sudden the speed of how things get done literally is what happens next year. Literally. So what does this all mean? Because I probably bored you all to death at this point. Sorry. But let me reemphasize the importance of this is kind of big, because all of this leads to what happens for the next 4 years, 5 years in movie making. Everyone's looking for their tent pole. Not just because, hey, I said tent pole. Sorry, I went really PG-13 with that. But unfortunately, that's not much of an exaggeration either. You want your big thing. Number one, because it's a prestige thing. Number two, it helps you generate tons of money to fund everything else. A $1 billion film not only pads your coffers, hopefully you're not just being all Gollum with this stuff, lets you reinvest in everything else. Hypothetically! So we'll see. In some ways, this summer could be the ripple effect for this summer bigger than we think. We'll find out. Anyway, I'm going to go because now you're going, so you're going to stop talking about this junk. Talk about something else, please. All right. So, hey, y'all take care. Have a good rest of the weekend. May the odds be in your favor. May the force be with you, especially if you're trying to make money against all this. And as always, be good to each other. And hey, all the folks out along the coast in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, hey, thinking about you guys, all right? Peace. Be good to each other, all right? Bye.